Usually when we talk about the fighters that we love the most in the UFC, there's a story behind it. But when we talk about the fighters that we hate the most, lots of times it's for no specific reason. You know, sometimes there's a reason, but most of the time it's just they look funny or they rub you the wrong way.
When I was doing this list, half of my reasoning was I don't like the way this guy looks. And there's no reason or logic to it, but we're here to give you our picks. We haven't looked at each other's of who we just don't like. And I'm sorry if this is your favorite fighter. Mobstar Evlo fans in the comments are going to hate this one.
But I think there's no better fighter to start this off with than the guy that actually has a reason for us to not like him.
Yeah.
Henry Triple C Cejudo. First off, you sound like a little kid.
Yeah. And look, same height.
And yeah, you're 5'4", absolute squeaker. Would have been our op in middle school. You know?
Dude, this kid in school,
when we were in middle school, would have just gotten flamed so hard for being a squeaker.
Goodness. I can't even imagine. Like, like 4'2"? How tall is he?
I don't know. But most importantly, like months ago, when we were so small, like I don't even think we had 100 followers yet on Instagram.
Okay.
Henry Cejudo's coach comes and comments on one of our videos, just absolutely bashing it.
This is deep lore right here.
So then we go to our Dawson's Corner group chat and like, what is going on here? Why is Henry Cejudo and Paul Acosta's coach just ripping us a new one? So then we all start clapping back at bro.
We have beef with Henry Cejudo's coach.
So when I saw his performance against Song Yadong and the
your favorite fighter,
yeah, one of my favorite fighters versus Henry Cejudo, and Cejudo's crying out with the eye pokes. Oh, I have never been so mad after a UFC event. Like I think I went to my little brother talking him and just ranted to everyone I saw there. I was like, Mom, this guy here, I don't like him. And then my dad, this guy here, I don't like him. Just ranted to everyone about it. But that's a little bit of my reasoning and our reasoning for why Henry Cejudo is number one on the least favorite fighter list.
He's the op on this list. Like all of the other fighters, I would say realistically, if I saw them in public, like who cares, you know? It doesn't matter. It's not making me angry. If I saw Henry in public, I'd poke his eyes. I'd give him a corneal abrasion again.
Where's your coach, bro?
Yeah. Also, the clip of him when he got his eye poked and then he sits down and he just looks up at the camera and smiles, that clip haunts me. That clip is in my dreams or more like nightmares. But he's just an annoying fighter, you know? You said everything you need to say. I feel like, tell me in the comments. We didn't go to American high school or college, so I want to know, like, is wrestling in American schools, like, does that make you popular or are you gay if you do that?
Because like we had like a little bit of wrestling by the time that we quit, or like that we graduated high school.
We quit, bro. We did not quit.
We graduated. Insert graduation clip right here of all the Dawson's Corner guys. But basically, like I think that like when we were in grade 12, they brought wrestling back to our school, or maybe it was after we were graduated they brought wrestling back.
I didn't know that.
It's not big in Canada.
No, it's not.
So is it
just like every other sport other than hockey?
Like is it like wrestlers and football players up top dogs, or are they down low?
Or is it like wrestlers and like field hockey players?
Like
they don't even probably have that in America.
The wrestlers are hanging out with the Glee Club, you know? Like those two
Pitch perfect.
Those two are intermingling.
All right, we should move on. I feel like this has been like 10 minutes of talking about Henry Cejudo.
All right, that's gonna do it for us today.
We had one person on this list. All right, my second person, Chris Curtis. This was probably like number 2 or 3 on my. I didn't like order them, but like I'd say in terms of people who I strongly dislike, Chris Curtis, even though I like haven't been around for a lot of his fights in his early career, I have been around long enough to know that all this guy does when he opens his mouth is complain. And it pisses me off. If you watch a Chris Curtis fight, there's always going to be at least one thing that he can say, well, that wasn't my fault and that's why I lost, you know? The ref stopped it too early in the Roman Kopylov fight. I was going to recover. There's 1 second left. Like, bro, you just got head kick cold. You're out, bro. And he's like, nah, I was fine. And then in the other fight, the Brendan Allen fight, that one was super controversial too with the decision because it was super close. And I just feel like you're never going to have a Chris Curtis fight without an insane amount of controversy. And just like I feel like his gym and like where he trains at, like him and Strickland, I feel like those guys are just like in high school they would be the guys that they're like super close friends and no one else likes them. Like they're best friends. They think that they're sick, like at the top of the high school hierarchy, and it's only them. Like no one likes them. They're just super annoying.
All right, my next fighter is a guy I'm notorious for being a D1 hater of. We're notorious for, and I think the fact when I'll like hate on a fighter and then like everyone in the comments will get so mad at me for it makes me dislike that fighter more. Corey Sandhagen.
This guy's coming after your favorite fighters right now.
And he's so mid. He is so mid at this point in his career. He's overrated from a few clips, you know? But when you look at the guys, he is like a clear tier below. This guy is might even go and lose to Figgy. If he loses to Figgy, what happened now, guys? You know? Oh, you can't call this guy mid. They got so mad at you for calling him mid.
He's going to bring out the beakers and test tubes, go back to the science lab, cook up a new formula.
And like, I don't even really have a reason to hate Sandhagen, but I just do at this point. At this point in time.
Well, hey man, that's the title of the video.
Yeah.
We can't explain it.
I think it's when I dislike a fighter or I say something negative and then everyone just claps off on me. Sorry, bro, you're gone. You made the list.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Poor Sandhagen, but he didn't deserve to go this early. All right, next fighter. This one, it's a classic. You know, if you're a Western MMA fan, you gotta hate Movsar Evloev. It's a rite of passage to be a
add him to the list.
Yeah, I mean, it's just one of those guys where he gives me bad vibes. He's super overconfident and cocky when, in my opinion, he hasn't done that much. Like, I get undefeated, being like 17-0 is a great feat, but in terms of like resume, I would rather have a guy who's 15-4 who has good wins rather than a 17-0 whose best win is Aljo and then an Arnold Allen. Like, very decent wins, but not like the top level of featherweight. Not enough to say this guy's gonna dominate for years to come.
Yeah.
You know, this guy would beat up Ilia Topuria. Like, he doesn't have that level of wins, and he hasn't gotten any of his wins impressive enough for me to think that he has that level.
His best win is a potential robbery, extremely close, basically jiu-jitsu match against Aljamain Sterling.
Yeah, it was pretty much a draw.
Yeah.
Like, that was the closest fight I might have ever watched.
20 total significant strikes each way. Like,
yeah. And then just scramble. Like, I don't know how to score the scramble. Sorry.
Yeah.
Like, does a forward roll count as extra points? Like, is this gymnastics or what? So, Movsar, it's a classic. You knew it was going to be on here. I'm sorry to all the Movsar fans in the comments.
All right, my next one, I'm going to group a few fighters together. Roman Dolidze.
Oh, no.
Marvin Vettori. Brennan Allen. Jack Hermanson. And Roman Kopylov.
The Apex Warriors?
Yes, the Apex Fight Night main event warriors, because they all have literally like zero personality.
It's so bad.
Most boring Fight Night main event of all time.
I feel like, you know how like we're the TikTok generation?
Yeah.
I feel like these guys are the Apex generation.
Yeah.
Know what I
like
mean?
there's going to be like, this is how a round's going to go. A minute of like, you know, feints and, you know, maybe a couple
kicks.
Yeah, maybe 10 significant strikes landed. Then we're going to spend about 3 minutes on the ground.
Yeah.
All right?
With nothing happening.
Yeah, of just trying to get control time, maybe a couple rib elbows, you know? Then eventually they're going to get back up to the feet and, they're really pushing for it. 2 significant strikes thrown in the last minute for 5 rounds.
Yeah.
That is how every single Apex Fight Night main event with one of these guys on the card. And sometimes you get 2 of them. And when you get 2 of them,
Yeah, it's been... Dude, I feel like they'll throw like one big body kick and John Anik will go nuts and be like, oh, that's gotta hurt. But it's like... They're fine.
He might have just got the round with that one.
Yeah, literally. That's how they win the rounds. One big body kick, and that's it. They're also, like, other than Roman Kopylov, they're all so slow. Yeah. Like, they're just not good. How is Roman Dolidze ranked 8 in the middleweight division? He's so freaking slow. That's a valid group of picks. For my next pick, this is someone who, I don't even know if you know him, Dylan. His name is Bogdan Grad.
I've heard of him.
We watched his fight. I think it was like, the Adesanya versus Imavov fight night. And it was his first fight off of the Contender Series. And I don't really have that much of a reason other than I've cheered against him both times I've watched him fight. And if I've never watched Star Trek all the way through, but I imagine he looks like a Star Trek villain. Like the alien species of Star Trek villains. This is what I imagine they look like. He's very scary. I'm going to pull up a picture just so you can get reference here. Dylan's reaction to seeing Bogdan Grad for the first time.
Like I'm trying to figure out, like I'm trying to put him in a group of like Lord of the Rings characters. Like you're either a dwarf, an elf, or what's the other one? Dwarf, elf.
I mean, there's humans.
Human. Oh yeah, but that's lame.
Who else is there?
Yeah, it's humans. I was thought there the third one was something else. It's humans, and I can't tell if he's elf or dwarf.
Yeah, it is a bit of a mixture. He has I don't even know.
He has the elfish ears, but his nose is very much elf, but it's because big, but it's also dwarfy.
Right, and I feel like he has the jawline for an elf.
Yeah, but he looks more like a dwarf.
Yeah, but he has the eyes and the eyebrows of a dwarf.
His brow is very dwarfy.
Anyways, I hate this guy. I hate the way he looks. Hate his face. I think I could probably beat him in a fight. He just wrestles. He's boring. Oh, he almost got finished in the fight too. I was so excited. This dude was so close to getting finished, and then he just whips out the win out of nowhere, and I was really sad.
I'm sorry that this happened to you.
Thanks, man.
All right, next fighter, Big Ink.
No. Everyone loves Big Ink.
No. I genuinely just... This guy is such a little gaslighter. He's a little liar. Like the way that he said, like, I'm not eating for all of my camp. And then Pereira's like, yeah, they brought us both the same meal.
Bro had his lunch on the same table. Like, that's crazy.
We eat lunch together.
Yeah.
What happened to Ramadan?
Yeah.
And then I'm not going to shoot. He didn't really shoot, but like he can't get
11 takedowns. Didn't land any of them.
He's like, I'm not gonna take it to the ground, but he'll shoot.
Yeah.
Oh, Pereira was oiled up.
Oh yeah, that I feel like that is a dumb excuse.
The fact that now he's the champion too, it's like
doesn't look right on UFCrankings.com.
No, if it's just
seeing Alex Pereira as the #1 contender. Ugh.
And then they like shot him up the pound for pound rankings too.
Well, you have to.
6.
If he beats Alex Pereira, you have to put him up. It is kind of crazy that he's above Pantoja.
3 title defenses.
And like beating everyone before that. Like it's just crazy, dude. Pantoja disrespect needs to stop, guys. We need to start a petition on Dodson's Corner. It's just sad now.
Yeah. But Big Ink, you made the list, buddy.
Yeah. He also looks like what's that like group of people that don't interact with anything like internet or
Mormons?
Mormons. Yeah, he looks like a Mormon, doesn't he?
A little bit.
With like with the beard and stuff. Yeah. I don't know. All right, next fighter, Junior Taffa. Now,
how could you hate him?
How
could you hate him?
Junior Taffa is a specimen in the UFC. Name one good thing he's done, Dylan.
No, nothing.
Screaming at UFC 305 for the ref, but then getting mad at the ref. Stops the fight. Well, bro, it's fine. Like, you cannot scream in pain and then say, like, well, why'd you stop that?
That was maybe my most confusing moment ever as a UFC fan.
Yeah. Also, Walter Walker getting back-to-back heel hooks is cinema in heavyweight. I love that storyline. But Junior Taffa, it's just funny to me that he's the younger brother of Justin Taffa, who is also just dog shit. Like, they're both awful.
Like, the toughest plus... Tuivasa, like it actually doesn't make sense how they could be so bad.
When did they get signed? Like, I feel like they just spawned in the UFC.
Dude, these guys were Apex Warriors.
I don't know.
They struggle against the fans.
Yeah,
with the fans in attendance, that's when it goes downhill.
That's true.
But Apex Warriors.
It was kind of wild to see Justin Taffa because I would say he's in the heavyweight division a decently well-known name just because of, I don't know, his vibe, and he's kind of a little bit funny, and he has a certain look to him. So for him to just get starched out cold in 30 seconds against a no-name Taliesin Teixeira, it's just crazy to me that these two brothers exist and their names are Justin and Junior Taffa. I don't know. It's wild to me.
The Taffa brothers.
I love it and hate it at the same time.
All right, my next guy, and there's a reason behind this one.
All right.
Carlos Holberg. We used to be so high on this guy. He could beat Pereira one day.
Yeah.
Then we watched him go up against Oezdemir and gas out him a 1 round and have a terrible, boring fight, And then this Jan Blachowicz fight gets a robbery win over our boy Jan Blachowicz. Doesn't do anything. This Black Jag is just...
Whoa. Let's not go that far.
That actually kind of sounded derogatory.
Yeah, I know. We didn't mean it like that, guys.
That's his nickname, okay?
Don't clip that.
The Black Jag.
Yeah, you just said you black jag. Like, that's crazy.
But, like, I just don't see the hype behind him anymore. Like, what is he actually good at? It's this city kickboxing stuff. Mm-hmm. The UFC just wanted to progress the division for light heavyweight, but not heavyweight, because Mick Parkin should have beat Tibura.
It's crazy that he's ranked third now. Like, it feels weird to see Alex Pereira, Yuri Prohaska, and then Carlos Olberg.
He's
like,
so bad.
One of these things is not like the rest of them.
Like, I think Jamal Hill could beat him.
All right, I feel like we've probably waffled quite a bit. Let's do
one more each?
Yeah, one more each. You know I hate this guy. He has ruined so many of my picks on fight nights and pay-per-views. I always pick against him because I'm like, he's not that great at anything. I thought Diego Ferreira would beat him, but he just like wins at the most inconvenient times for me, and that's personally why I don't like him. Loner Kavanaugh and Felipe de Lima or Dos Santos, whatever the insert Brazilian last name. Like, these guys are going for it on the ground. Grant Dawson is hover maxing and just not doing anything. It's just, he pisses me off, you know? Yeah. He did have, the best thing about him, I will give him this, is the comment he made in the Apex about his wife, where he's like, do you remember that?
Yeah.
He's got a rack on her. Like,
yeah.
That was,
to go home to her.
Yeah, like that was good, but other than that, he has just done nothing for this division. And I think like it also pisses me off that he's taking up a spot that should be for Joel Alvarez, my boy.
Yeah.
Or even, I'm sure there's other people I can think of that deserve it more than him. Like, winning against a 41-year-old Diego Ferreira should not get you a 14th ranked spot.
But it did for Grant Dawson.
Call me crazy.
All right, last fighter of the video isn't a fighter. It's Michael Bisping on commentary. This is my biggest gripe. Like, I feel bad for people when I watch UFC with them about how much I just complain about Bisping on commentary.
Yeah.
I can't stand the guy. I genuinely cannot stand him because he's usually glazes the fighter I don't like. For some reason, me and Bisping just have completely opposite opinions on who's going to win the fight.
That's a good point. He always seems to be rooting for
for the op.
Yeah.
You know? And just says some of the dumbest things of all time. I also could have grouped DC in here, but you can't hate DC. And usually he's on a fight night, and lots of times he's on the Dogwater fight nights. I never heard this guy on a good fight night.
Well, he'll be on like the London ones and like
and this last London card was Dogwater.
Yeah, that's true.
So he's on these Apex, crushing on the Apex. Well, Apex just had a main event of the 14th and 15th ranked heavyweight. So
he also just like seems to talk about the most useless information. You know, John Anik, he'll give us like interesting information and like he does his research.
Yeah.
Joe Rogan will give he'll provide like supplementary or like just like the hype for it.
Yeah, because John Anik is the play-by-play.
Yeah.
Guys like Joe Rogan, DC Bisping are the color commentators. They're supposed to bring in extra facts, outside information that we don't understand, like, or that we wouldn't know. Like, Joe will bring in interesting points, you know? Bisping just waffles about nothing, you know? I trained with this guy back 10 years ago. Great lad.
Literally.
You were training with him when he was 10, Bisping?
Yeah.
Okay, bruv. Like, oh yeah, me and Shui, we've been training back together before I was champ.
What, bro?
He didn't actually say that. Just
paraphrasing.
For legal reasons.
Yeah. You see Chiwiwi's all-star performance? So boring, bro.
Dude. Stop. Get this guy. Cut him.
Cut him?
No,
you
can't cut him, but like,
give him John Jones.
That's gonna wrap it up for us today. Make sure you guys go down to the comments.
Am I missing something?
No, I literally just made up that for no reason.
Okay.
But when you guys are down there, tell us the fighters that you hate for no reason, or if there's any fighters that you hate for any specific reason. We want to hear it. Let us know.
Oh, Kaikar France could also go in this video. I'm gonna be honest.
Cyril Gahn, I wanted to put him in there, but I wanted to talk about Bisping.
Yeah, no, that's valid.
But we want to hear about it. While you guys are down there, make sure you're liking and subscribing. And we'll see you guys next time. Peace.
See ya.